Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Advent, and I am not a financial advisor. Anything that we go over in this video or any of my content is not to be taken as financial advice. It is simply to be taken as for educational purposes only. Trading does have its risks, so please do your research before you engage in trading. So today I want to talk about a common question that I've seen that gets asked a lot in the online trading communities. Nothing really rehearsed. I just have like some bullet points on some things that I want to go over and just want to really share my experiences as a trader and also as a mentor and, a teacher to other people who wanted to learn to trade and what I've seen within them and give you some experience that can maybe shed better light on the question, how long does it take to be profitable, right? I always see this question asked a lot, especially on the online trading communities, like on Reddit, X or Twitter, so on and so forth, what have you, and some Discord channels or groups rather. So starting off, in my personal opinion, and I'll be fair with you guys for the naysayers, which there probably will be many, based on what I say today. But again, this is just my experience, what I've seen within myself and those that I've helped. So, hey, the proof is in the pudding. Don't shoot the messenger. So when it comes to how long it takes to be profitable, in my personal experience as a trader, it took me roughly 2 years to be profitable. I'll say two and a half years. Around the 2-year mark is when I discovered the strat, which helped me a lot in the sense of being consistent on a strategy basis. And then during that time as well is when I met one of my mentors that really helped me get my life in order and really, helped me get the psychological aspect of trading worked on as well. While he didn't necessarily work with me specifically for trading, he more so helped me get my outside life in order, which helped me, transition that into my trading with good habits, being healthy, disciplines, so on and so forth. And then by having that discipline out in my outside life, it was a lot easier for me to bring that into my trading life. Alongside working with Randy Howell and, other experiences I've had where I had to learn myself to develop the trading mind or the trader state of mind, as Randy Howell calls it. So for me personally, it took me about 2.5 years to be profitable. Now, this is going to be a probably unpopular opinion with the online trading community. And, I've seen my comments get murdered to oblivion because people say I'm a liar. But hey, my experiences and what I've seen. So with proper guidance, I believe that an individual can be profitable in as little as 3 months. So to give you some examples, with some of my quickest learning students, the quickest turnaround that I've ever seen somebody be profitable, well, actually, a new student beat the record this last month. So him and I had our first session on the 26th of June, and it's the end of July 2024, and he's basically been green the entire month. Now, to be fair, because I know this is probably going to come up in the comments or people are going to say stuff, is this going to be, let's say, something long term? So what I'm going to do a year from now, I'm going to do another one of these videos, and I'm going to give an update on what I talk about today to see if I guess, not necessarily my hypothesis, but if what I'm saying is true in relation to my experience. So this student I worked with for 1 month, and he's been green the entire month, following the exact same things that we've talked about, the trading plan, all that stuff. For him, he didn't necessarily have issues on the psychological side. What I have noticed is some students that I've had and other traders, that have had, let's say, like psychological traumas in the trading world, which I'll go over in a bit, they are, I wouldn't say, I don't want to use the word like harder to teach, but it can be a little more challenging because we need to get over all those psychological traumas that they've gone over, which again, I'll mention in a bit. So besides that one student, one of the most recent ones that I've had, in 1 month, he's doing fantastic. Now, of course, this is subjective because some people have more experience than others. Some people learn faster than others, so on and so forth. And the one of my students that I really want to touch on is my cousin that I've literally trained from scratch, had zero knowledge of the markets 3.5 months ago. And this is basically the month 3.5, where 2 weeks ago, we had him go live because he's been implementing and paper trading and showing consistency in his paper trading from what we have gone over. And in 3.5 months, he's profitable. So far, from knowing nothing to now, quickest I've ever seen somebody be profitable with proper guidance is 3.5 months. So for me, that is the basis that I'll be using. Again, to be fair, for the naysayers, I'm going to follow up in a year and see where he's at to see if we're still profitable from now. And I'll give you guys more insight into it. But so far, 3.5 months, doing fantastic, doing great. One thing that I really enjoyed working with my cousin that he's never had experience with trading, and why I also enjoy, let me not say I enjoy, but I also enjoy working with anybody, whether they're seasoned traders or not. Love all of you guys, all my students, grateful for each and every one of them. More so what I'm trying to get at is it's easier to mold a trader into a proper trader when they don't have any experience. Because from the get-go, I'm instilling in them the proper expectations, the proper way to approach the markets, so on and so forth. For example, when people don't necessarily have proper guidance, and even for me, oh my God, I'm pressing buttons and I'm making all this money, and you still don't really know what you're doing. So when you don't really know what you're doing, which happened to me, and I'm sure happened to many people, you make a lot of mistakes, you lose a lot of money, you take really big losses that you don't want to be taking. And then it can cause, I wouldn't say like psychological damage to be dramatic, but it can cause some psychological scars, I suppose we can use that word, in the sense of it can be a little more challenging to get out of that fearful mind state or state of mind when you go back into trading, when you're using your live capital, right? So, for example, for my cousin, he already knows what he should be avoiding, right? So he knows if he hits 3 losses for the day or a specific dollar amount, whichever comes first, he stops trading for the day. Because as we were paper trading, I was instilling in him the proper habits and system to follow as you trade. We're not here to make $1 million in a day or in a week or in a month. We're here to make consistent wins, which add up to big wins. As opposed to somebody who may have thought that, you can make $1 million in a month or in 2 months of learning how to trade, and, having that incorrect expectation, in my opinion. So all that to say is, so far, the quickest I've seen somebody from knowing zero experience to being profitable, 3.5 months. And I'll follow up with you guys in a year from now, and I'll make another video with where everybody's at. Now, like I mentioned, if you start with the proper guidance, you can get there much faster. However, when you've gone through these moments where you've experimented with yourself in the sense of, like experimented with the market rather by yourself, and you don't have that proper guidance, your risk management is all over the place, your system is all over the place. I've met traders that have traded for more than 2 years. They don't even know what to journal when they're journaling their trades. So not having that guidance can really make it take a lot longer when it comes to, your growth and achieving profitability or consistent profitability, at least in trading. In my experience working with some students, I found I would say the most challenge that I've had is with students that have, one, lost a ton of money already. So they have that mental fear and that mental blockage that they don't want to lose more. So they start like making mistakes while they're trading because they're so focused on the money and they're trading out of state of desperation. Other individuals that I've had issues, or not issues with, but like challenges, is if their life in and of itself is chaotic and they don't have their life in order. I've also seen where it can be a little challenging because, because their life is so out of order, they turn to trading to magically fix everything, right? Like if I just make all this money, then my life will be fixed, which to a specific degree, sure, that's true. Money can solve many issues, right? However, the problem is that when you're approaching trading from that desperation, or if your life is chaotic, you're not thinking clearly because you're not thinking on your system. You're not thinking on your process. You're not thinking that, hey, my only job today is to take my setups and that's it. And if my setups don't appear, it's okay if I don't do anything. Instead, they're approaching the markets from a way of, I need to trade today and I need to make money today and I'm going to make money today. Those types of thought processes are dangerous because the problem with that is, one, you're acting out of desperation. So you're not even focusing on your system or even trying to develop your system properly. You're more so focused on the money. You're more so focused on getting all that lost money back, which I'm gonna tell you right now, if you're one of those people, you will never, ever get that lost money back. But what you will get is new money from your system, which will make you get all those losses back plus more. And I hope that makes sense in the way that I described it. I'll give you an example. I worked with this individual. We started working about, I think, like a month and a half or 2 months ago. He was probably down, I think, like 70% from his initial starting balance when he first started trading. So for the sake of the conversation, let's say he had $10,000, he was down to 3,000. And it's been what, almost 2 months or 2 months at this point, and he's gotten back to above his initial deposit in the account. So net value, since he started, he's green again in 2 months of working with me. Because the biggest thing for him that I needed to develop, of course, besides the strategy and getting his system locked in, it was more on the psychological end where, he needed to understand that, hey, it's okay to lose. Losing is normal. And not only that, when we lose, it's okay to end red because, again, the goal isn't to end green the goal is to end green every day, but we need to be realistic. I have red days. I think I've had so far, like six red days or 7 red days this month. Perfectly normal. Yeah, I'm upset. I'm human. Of course, I want to end green all the time, but hey, can't do that all the time. So for him, it was more so psychologically that we worked on. The strategy part, he got down packed in like a week, really. And then we just refined it from there, on top of giving him the support with the psychological aspect. So whenever he will send me his trades or his review for the day, I'll give him insight on what he did well, what we can improve on, a different way to look at certain things, just to reframe and reprogram the mind. And he's been doing fantastic. I think he sent me a message. Oh yeah, he sent me a message today. Hold on, let me see if I have it here. Green 16 out of 20 days this month. Am I a boss or what? You are definitely a boss, my good sir. Keep it up. You're doing a fantastic job. So just summarizing this specific chapter of this class today, or more so just this monologue today, is with proper guidance and proper teaching, stuff like that, you can definitely be profitable a lot sooner than most people will have you think. Again, this is my opinion. I know a lot of people may disagree and like, oh no, you need to trade for 2 or 3 years, or it's impossible to be profitable under 2 years, and this and that. Hey, so far in my experiences with people that I've worked with my guidance, less than 5 months. So cool. The next thing that I want to touch up on is removing your limiting beliefs, because your limiting beliefs, I forget the saying, I'm probably going to butcher it, but it's something along the lines of you can only go as far as your thoughts. So if you believe that you may never succeed in trading, then your mind is going to hear that, and your subconscious is going to hear that, and then you're going to physically act out doing that, right? I'll give you an example. For me, my dad told me, you need to go back to school and get your psychology master's degree, all that good stuff, because that's the only way you're going to make a lot of money. But I'm like, I'm making money here. Like, look at my P&L, X, Y, and Z. But for him, it's like, hey, no, you need to go back to school. And I get it, for parents of ours, depending on your community or where you were raised, they didn't know none of the stock market stuff, right? So the only way that they know how to, make a lot of money was to go to college, was to go to school and all that stuff. And again, I'm not, in case this comes up in anybody's mind, I'm not knocking college at all. I think it's very beneficial depending on the field that you want to go into. But there's definitely many different ways that you can make a lot of money that's not going the college route. So, for him, every time we would talk about, like my trading and stuff, he would always say that, hey, you should go back to school and finish up and this and that so you can make a lot of money. And what would happen to me, because subconsciously I was getting that belief instilled in me that I couldn't make a lot of money trading, every time I would have a really good day, I would give it back within 2 days, either the very next day or within that same week, because subconsciously I didn't believe that I deserved or I could make easy money or a lot of money trading. So subconsciously, I was bringing that to the conscious realm of me physically self-sabotaging to make that come true. And, I work with my personal mentor outside of trading to help me reprogram my mind, which helped a lot. And of course, having boundaries with family members, like I, told my dad, hey, when I speak about this stuff, I would appreciate if you don't bring this up anymore. And thankfully, if you have somebody that's understanding, they'll respect your boundaries. So limiting beliefs, a practice that may help you is, oh man, there was actually a good one that me and a student actually spoke on this today. Hold on, let me see if I could bring this combo up to tell you guys. All right, cool. So this is the student that I've worked with 1 month, and he's been profitable the entire month. So he finally reached the one of the goals that he had for himself with trading. And he said he had like a rough day where his brain was just like thinking all this negative stuff, like, you know, um, like, I can't believe this isn't real, this is not sustainable, all these different things that may come up. It's happened to me, it's happened to many people that I've worked with, perfectly normal, happens in other areas of life. And I loved his response to that. Instead of saying, I can't believe that this is real, or using negative language, instead he switched that to, I'm living the reality that I want. Verbatim. I won't say exactly what he said, but the context is, I'm living the reality that I want. So instead of saying things like, oh, I can't believe this is real, or I don't think I deserve this, or this is not this can't last because, this is impossible. People told me this and this and this and that. Instead, we can move our limiting beliefs to our new beliefs. For example, let's say for the sake of the conversation, I'll give you guys one. Hopefully I can think about it and I don't forget on the spot and my brain goes blank. Let's say I will never succeed in trading. Let's use that as a limiting belief. What you want to do is create a new belief for that. So instead of saying, I will never succeed in trading, you can affirm present tense, I am so happy and grateful that I am now a successful trader, or I am a consistently profitable trader, or whatever it is that you want to say. And you can even take this and be more specific. For those who've read Think and Grow Rich, the more specific you are with your affirmations, the better your subconscious is going to absorb that. And so you can say, I'm so happy and grateful that I'm now a profitable trader by following my systems, my rules, and my disciplines, right? So now you're more specific with how you're achieving that. So now your mind knows, hey, this is why we are a profitable trader, and so on and so forth. As an example, there's a million different ways you can make your new belief and such. That's just one for you guys that may help. Cool. So the next thing that I want to speak on as well is the people that you surround yourself with are really going to help you a lot and propel you to success in honestly any area of your life, whether it be in business, whether it be in the trading world, really anything, honestly. So, for example, being on Reddit a lot, which is where I first kind of like discovered trading here and there. Well, my friend put me on to trading and then I kind of went on the internet and you know how that goes. For those who have been on Reddit and for those who may know me from Reddit and have seen my content now, you'll definitely see a lot of negativity there, like a ridiculously amount of negativity. And there'll also be a lot of people who, because they didn't succeed, they think that trading may be a scam, it's not real, it's this and that, and they'll try to instill their limiting belief onto other people. For example, when I've said, let's say, like I said earlier, when we first started this call, I mentioned that I would say, hey, look, it took me 2.5 years to be profitable. Once I discovered this strategy, I was profitable in 2 months of learning it. They're like, oh, that's a lie. You're just trying to scam people and sell courses and this and this and that and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, hey, man, look, what I've learned with those internet people, you're not going to convince them. So you shouldn't even bother even acknowledging them, because no matter what you say, they still aren't going to believe you. And I used to try, but I realized, you can't change their mind, especially if they're already in that zone, in that state. I even went so far one day to offer this guy a free one-on-one session where I will literally teach him what I know. And he's like, nope, it's not going to work. It's a waste of time, X, Y, and Z. I'm like, hey, man, all right, you're more than welcome to stay where you're at. So the internet can, in those negative spaces and those people who are, in that state of mind, it can be an echo chamber, which can keep you trapped. Because if you believe that, if you believe that it's going to take you 3-4 years, and I'll say this again, to be fair, if you like learn by yourself, it can take that long. If you have proper guidance or a mentor, things like that, then it can definitely be sped up a lot quicker. For example, when I was going through that dark time in my life 2-3 years ago, sure, I could have gotten myself out of it eventually, but I decided, hey, look, I'm tired of feeling this way. Something needs to change. and I'm willing to do whatever I can to make that change. And then I came across my life coach. Love that dude. Shout out to Jacob if you ever seen this video. He like transformed. He really did a lot for me. I'll tell you that. He really transformed my life, and I'm eternally grateful for him. He really helped me get my life in order in a few months outside of trading, which helped me in my trading because I took all those good habits into trading. But all that to say is, I was tired of where I was. And I was like, look, something needs to change. I need to surround myself or learn from somebody who is where I want to be. And then, I set up a free call with him. We spoke, and he's like, hey, man, all right, we can do this. It's $3,000. I'm like, ooh, $3,000 for coaching. I've never had a coach in my entire life, but I was in a place where I was literally just so desperate to really make a big change. I was like, screw it. Because if I can't continue trading this way, I'm going to shred $3,000 of the rest of my account anyway. So what's $3,000 to better myself and invest in myself? So I took the leap. I didn't even know if it'll work or not. And I'm blessed that, I got a good mentor, because there are other people out there who aren't as fortunate as I, and they may have gotten a mentor that didn't really do much for them, which sucks. I get it. But, I was definitely blessed to have met him. And, from there, he really helped me understand this, like, the environment that you're in and the people that you surround yourself in will propel you a lot and will help you reach your goals much quicker. So after I met him, it was probably, I think, like a month or two after, where I met my new trading mentor. So, True to the Strat, 100K, Brown Strat King, Faith in the Strat, Trust My Levels. Yeah, I think it was those five. Yeah, True to the Strat, Faith in the Strat, Brown Strat King, 100K, and Trust My Levels. And having those five strat mentors super propelled me to get the strategy down packed super quick. And again, when it comes to mentoring, if you look at all the successful people out there in the world, they all had mentors. So I honestly, like, I get it, but I would never understand, like, this disdain. Like, I see it on Reddit a lot. Like, people are like, oh, like, you can just, like, don't pay nobody, don't buy courses, don't do this. You can just learn it yourself, which, again, you can learn it yourself. You can, definitely. But wouldn't you want to have somebody that's already where you're at and you want to get there faster? And again, to be fair, there are a lot of scammers out there. When I first started, a lot of people hit me up. I'm like, this seems scammy. I'm good. So again, it sucks for people who did get scammed. I get it. And they might have that trauma and they don't want to get scammed again. I've even had people come to me. They're like, hey, I need help. I'm like, all right, if you need help, this is what I charge for my service. And they're like, oh, this seems a little scammy. I'm like, I don't know why this looks scammy, because I'm charging for a service, or I'm charging for my time rather, you know? Or I think my favorite objection or my favorite question has always been, this is just me going on a tangent, so excuse my tangentness, which I love to go on sometimes. I've always loved, and it's hilarious when people say, well, if you're a profitable trader, why are you charging people to teach them? To me, that is the silliest thing ever, because my trading is one business and my coaching is another business. They're two separate things and they're not correlated. For example, if I'm a lawyer, but I'm also a doctor, I'm not going to go to a lawyer and be like, hey, because you're a doctor and you're making doctor money, you shouldn't charge me for your lawyer work. Doesn't make sense. So, and even then, in my opinion, my prices are a lot lower than a lot of people charge, because my biggest thing is, which my mentor always, he wants me to raise my prices, but I like to be more affordable for people, because I really just love doing this, because it's a passion of mine. But there's people who spend like, I don't even know. I think I charge $200 now for people who aren't in my group. And I've had people that work with me that have spent probably thousands of on coaching, trading mentors. And again, I'm just being humble. These are their words, not mine. They've told me that in a month or two that we've worked together, or even one session of working together, I provided them with more results than other people have had for like full-on mentorships. Again, these are words that they have told me. You can ask them yourself if you want to. Anyway, moving on. So all that to say is, when going back to the topic or the chapter of this call today, the people you surround yourself with will help you a lot. When I had my life coach, Jacob, and then when I had my strat mentors in 100K's group that I met them there, being around all those successful traders and even their mentality and their support and always trying to bring me up as an individual and as a trader really helped me a lot. Because people who really want you to succeed will never try to bring you down. They will always try to bring you up. And I see this all the time. And it really sucks because, I really wish people can see things the way that I do or other people see it. Like I'll be on Reddit, I'll post one of my setups or like to share and so people can learn. And you'll get people in the comments that are like, this is stupid, or this doesn't work, or this and this and that. And I'm like, you're so quick to say it doesn't work, but you haven't even tried it. And instead, what I love is when people actually say, oh, this is great. Thank you so much for sharing. This is going to help me learn this better, or do this, or do that. And I've had a lot of people message me saying, hey, man, I came across your post randomly a month or two ago. It's helped me a lot. Thank you so much. And I'm like, see, I love seeing that because instead of people saying, hey, this is BS, this is not going to work, they're like, you know what? Let me try this. Let me try what this guy is saying, see if it's even legit. If it is, hey, great. If not, it is what it is. I'll move on to the next strategy that I'm trying to find. So all that to say, to just wrap up this portion, is, the people that you surround yourself with will really help you and propel your life a lot quicker on where you want to be. So now that we're done with that section, just, the last little acknowledgements, like I mentioned prior, the strategy that I use now, the strat, it's been working for me flawlessly for the last 2 years. For my mentors, they've been using it, I think, for like 3 to 4, 3 to 5 years, maybe even more. It was created by Rob Smith. If it's been working for them all this time and it's still working now, I definitely hope the algorithm never changes so we can keep on profiting from this and squeezing all the juice out. Maybe the strategy might not work in the future. Who knows? Again, we'll have to see. I just wanted to acknowledge that because I'm not saying that I have the holy grail of strategies. I just found one that works for me and that it's super simple. And there's many things that work in the trading world. I just found what works for me, thankfully. And it's really simple, which I love. Another acknowledgement before we wrap up that I just want to mention is, like I mentioned, with the time it takes to be profitable, is I'm going to follow up with all of you guys in a year from now. So I'm going to set a reminder to make an update in a year from now based on and seeing where everybody's at with the, with their progress. See if what I think and what I've seen holds true, that, you can be profitable in as little as 3, 4, 5 months, half a year, less than a year, etc. Just so I can give you guys a full, rundown of it and an update. Other than that, that's honestly really all I have today. I appreciate you guys for watching. If you are still watching until this point, and if you are needing any type of help in your trading, I do offer free discovery calls. So if you want to just talk with me, see if I can help you, I can see where you're at in your trading, see if I can even assist you as well, depending on what's going on. You're more than welcome to book a free discovery call. I'll put it in the description below. Free of charge. You don't lose anything. just 30 minutes of your time if we end up not matching with each other, which is okay. I'm not for everybody. And if you are new to trading, just my opinion and my bias, you're more than welcome to go through all my content in my channel. Honestly, if you go through the material, you'll literally find exactly how I trade and exactly what I do. For some things, you might need to do more research on, obviously, but you're more than welcome to go through my channel, all the information there. If you guys ever want me to go over any specific topics, you can always let me know in the comments, and I'll hold like a live class on YouTube for you guys. I do appreciate every single view, every single subscription, every single like and comment, all of that stuff. It does not go unnoticed. So I thank all of you guys for watching. I appreciate you guys, and I will talk to you later. Good night.